Welcome to Good Mythical MORE. There is an ice for every beverage and every occasion. Let's see if we can determine what it is.
But first, let's give a $30 gift card to mythical.com to Jazzy for repping that GMM merch in the wild with hashtag merchacality.
Hoodie so cozy. I love it so much. You're going to get some other stuff to go with it.
Wow.
Still
Yes.
doing the singing thing, you know?
Then once you start, you really can't stop.
Okay, so the crew has been surveyed, right, Stevie?
Yes.
And they've given their opinion on
Well, do you want to go through the various different ices that are in front of you?
what type of ice works with all different types of beverage.
Starting on my side, we've got Crescent Ice, which is from a typical ice
Fridge.
maker in the fridge. This is a weird shape, though. Like mine at home is not that short. I got longer.
Mine's a little bit longer, but it's still the same
But you know
principle.
what it is. Crushed ice that you would get from like the thing on the front of the fridge that would take this ice and crush it and put
You
it
know
into
what
your
I hate,
cup.
man?
I believe we're calling that flake, by the way.
Calling it flaked?
I mean, on
Flake.
Some fridges call it crushed. And
Yeah.
What were you about to say?
I hate it when I go to get water and ice comes out, and I hate it even more when flakes come out because they go everywhere. Like, we never do flakes at our house.
You want this to come out of the
I
thing.
want that to come out.
I don't even have one of those on my fridge.
I only want water to come out.
I don't even have one on my fridge. I can't get ice out of my fridge unless I reach down into the thing.
I've noticed.
Yeah. Well, because you know why? It takes up a lot of room in your fridge. And we like food more than we like ice.
You know what you need? Another fridge.
Well, there's one of those downstairs.
Well,
I mean, but that also doesn't do that.
this right here, it's melting some, but this is the little crunchy barrel ice.
Nuggets.
Nugget ice.
Nuggets, you can get it at Sonic. You can also get it at Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf.
Yes, you can.
And then we've got like ice tray ice,
Cubes.
ice cubes.
Cubes.
Right, so
Thank
what's
you for
up?
clarifying and changing the name of all of them.
Well, yeah,
our
as we
first
go
round.
through this, I wanted everyone to know what we were talking about. So, yeah, we're starting with plain water. So your job is to guess what the majority of the crew, the majority of the crew chose as their preference for water.
My preference is no ice in water.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me just say that, but I
It's a
don't
trick
believe that's
question.
an option.
And we agree. So that's the correct answer. It's hard to not go with the crunchy for any liquid.
I agree.
I think. It's so good.
It's so superior to the rest. Because there's like so much of it. I feel like it ices just every little molecule, and then you could just crunch on it forever.
Let me just say, and I don't know if this is physically correct. I think that this ice, when put in water, but not necessarily put in soda, has a tendency to turn into a snowball that kind of bunches up and hits you in the nose when you try to drink it.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna go with they wanted Crescent Ice because
I think that is the best choice.
because crushed ice and water, I don't know, it's just too close.
The shape of the crescents, it lets the water go around it.
Yeah, I'm
we're
going with
So you're
Crescent.
both going crescent.
Yeah.
63% of the crew polled went with cube. In fact, crescent was the least picked situation.
Really?
Well, it tied with flake. I'm not going to choose flake for anything.
I understand the cube. I guess cube for the same reason. It was just so far away from me that I forgot about it.
But they're it's like squared or rounded, and it doesn't allow as much flow. So you're wrong, guys. It was crescent. That was the correct answer.
Okay. All right. What else?
It's interesting that you said ice tray ice because in my mind, there's something like slightly fancier about cubed ice to the crescent ice. And maybe that's because the crescent ice is so easily gettable out of a freezer.
Chisel that for us.
You know, like you'll see cubes in fancy cocktails.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like big
usually
cubes.
larger cubes, but yeah.
This is Coke, right?
Coke.
I mean, just as a reminder, the cube,
This has gotta be
the
it.
crunchy crunch barrel cube nugget ice.
The barrels. Sonic barrels.
It just does something for me.
Oh, it's so good. That's it, and it just looks good. Now you got to drink it pretty fast.
But
I do think it melts.
We
Quick.
need to see if my theory is right.
If you throw it. You having trouble with Chris, sound guy's listening to the crunching of the ice.
Look. It turned into one block. See how it does that in this?
It didn't quite, but I know.
Look. It stayed into one thing, whereas in the Coke, look at that.
Because of the effervescence.
Look at that. You see that? Look how it formed one big cube in the water and not in the Coke.
Yeah, it didn't. You're right. All right, we're going with the crunchy. I
completely and totally agree with going with Nugget, and somehow 52% of the crew picked Cube, followed by Nugget. Cube. How could you?
I don't
How
know.
Do we have any of those folks who said cubed in here?
We got a Cubert? No one wants to own it.
Because what's the argument for cubed being best in Coke?
First option to vote on. I think it's denser, so it melts slower. It might keep your drink colder longer, in theory.
Well, because I know that we have another round where we're going to talk about cocktail, and I don't know what it is that makes cubed ice work better for a cocktail than it does for a Coke. I haven't really thought about this. I've never explored this.
Sprite.
Look what I found.
Sprite.
Again,
I mean, why would it not just be
every soft
Nugget
drink
again?
should be the Nugget.
Yeah, but it looks like water though. Does that mean anything?
I never use this for anything, but some people who like to chew ice and they can't get their hands on this can create this in their own fridge. So I do think that there's an affinity group for the shards.
The argument
But
for
it's too unpredictable for me.
the argument for the Nugget ice not being good would be that it being broken up so much causes it to melt more quickly, which means you get a more watered down beverage, and so you lose the taste a little bit.
Yeah.
So I can see somebody making that argument and saying that cubed would work best. But
Bless you.
if
Bless
the
you.
crew voted differently for Coke and for Sprite, then you're all psychopaths.
Yeah, so we're sticking to our guns here.
We're going to say that you chose cubed again.
Yeah, good news. They did do the exact same thing. Somehow they picked Cube over
You guys are
Nugget.
consistently wrong.
But Crescent no one likes Crescent ice. I feel bad for it.
Well, it's just
It's boring.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
You know, it's
And it gets stuck on the side. You know what I'm saying? It like fits on the side, and then that hits you on the lip, and it's like Crescent ice.
Chew it. You can't really put it in your mouth.
Well, you can. I'll bite ice like this.
you know what a crescent ice is really good for? An ice pack. It's got that rounded edge, and it's got a flat edge. So depending on your wound, you can really focus some flat edges or some rounded edges. So it contours to the body.
You been icing wounds lately?
I've been icing wounds. I'm a wound icer. All right, get rid of this, and we're bringing in the. Is this tea?
Mm-hmm.
Tea. Now,
I mean, this just feels like
I think this for the nostalgia factor.
right.
I think for nostalgia
Gotta go for
factor,
the home cubes.
I think you got to go for these. I think you got to go for Crescent.
Well,
I mean,
ice- if
this
you want-
maybe even older school is an ice tray.
yeah, because it's ice. So I'm going ice tray for the nostalgia. factor.
I'll go with that. I'll go with ice tray.
Yeah, they went with Cubed again, followed by Crescent
Of
though.
course, they
Followed
love
by
cubed.
Crescent.
They love cubed. Crescent in 7%.
We got one flake in there.
Yeah, flake is not. Yeah, the good thing about flake, I'm saying flake, but I meant to say the nuggets. Nuggets work really well with fizz. It's like something about that. The crunchiness plus the fizz together is just a very fun experience.
Hey, you know something that I want to talk about right now?
No, I don't have a clue.
The fact that all of Mythical's hair and skincare products use natural, cruelty-free formulas.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That means you can have peace of mind while you keep yourself looking good. And if you haven't already, try out our beard, hair, and lip products, which you can get at mythical.com or on Amazon.
You know, we don't talk about our grooming line enough for as good as it is.
That's true.
I mean, there's no cruelty involved.
That's right.
You know, it's like. that's
I mean,
nothing to
you could
brag about.
probably hurt somebody with this. You could be cruel to someone with this. I could probably slit your throat with this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You could.
Which
be
would be
cruel
a
with it,
very cruel thing to do.
But it's not cruel. I'll
But
say-
it was not. No one was thinking about that when it was being made, and it was not. No animals were harmed or even tested. So I don't know what this is going to do to animals because we didn't test it on them. I mean, just to be completely honest with
yeah,
you,
you can do that.
if
but
your
we're
dog
not.
gets into this stuff, it may be over because we were not willing to test it to find out.
It won't kill your dog.
That's not
I
how it
think.
works. It's totally safe. It's all natural, and there's a musical comb.
Get your candy milk lip balm, peanut butter peppermint, peculiarly perfect. Nice. Mythical.com and on Amazon Prime shipping. Leave us a review on Amazon if you've gotten these products. We're super proud of them, so we're confident that you will be too. So leave us a review, okay?
Okay.
Here's a weird one for ice. Milk.
Oh,
Milk.
I will say the bulk of the crew refused
Yeah.
to
Good.
answer
I'm about to
this.
say,
So
you're
there's only
psychopaths if you want ice in your milk.
there's only 3 people who voted, and I also have all of their names.
Okay.
Oh,
So
good.
let's guess
Give
who
me the
voted.
names. Give me the names.
Ice
I'll tell you
in
what
the
they
milk.
voted for.
Emily, Michaela, and Mike, but we have several. Who's the Mike? Paisley. Okay.
So,
Emily,
okay,
Paisley, and
Michaela is right
Michaela.
there.
Michaela, do you actually drink milk iced? No.
But you
but-
felt obligated to vote.
Yeah, I felt bad that nobody else voted.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wonder if
I mean, it seems gross to put the little cubes.
I
in
think
there.
it's got to be
It's gotta be the biggest one.
cubes because you want the least amount of meltage.
Yeah.
So you think most of those 3 people chose the cubes?
Yes.
It is the right answer.
Okay.
2 out of 3.
If you have to ice
You
it.
you are correct. Emily and Paisley chose the cubes, but Michaela did not.
Michaela chose the crescent.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Why do you choose the crescent since you're here?
The shape.
You like the shape?
I like the shape in ice, hypothetically.
Hypothetically, you would never do it, but
You've never done
hypothetically,
it.
you like
But I
the
mean-
idea of
Better
it.
in ice than a big giant cube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't really.
But
see
what's
it.
the point of putting ice in milk?
Whoa! Levitating ice cube! I'm scared.
Hold on.
I'm scared.
I don't even know what just happened.
It's still happening, man.
How is it doing that? How is the ice just hanging onto the side?
It doesn't. It's abstaining too, just like most of the.
Yes.
I
It's
am
like,
not
don't do
going
it.
in.
I live for just a moment. Don't put me in milk.
This is not how I wanted to go out.
Okay, as long as you can hold on, you're good.
All right. Let's
Oh, I'm getting some good points from Emily via Slack. Emily, are you
Okay.
on chat? Can you talk?
Yeah, I'm here.
Please share. I mean, I can see that.
Emily.
Yeah, I mean, an iced latte is essentially just iced milk with a little brown in it.
Don't ruin this for us.
Okay. You're calling an iced latte brown milk. Is that your argument?
You are right, though.
Well,
you
I
are
think I
right
meant to
that
say with a little coffee in it, but it came out the way it did, you know?
you're not wrong about this. You're not wrong that there's essentially, especially if you get a lot of cream in like an iced coffee, that you are basically doing iced milk in that situation. And I got to say, I have done that, and I felt nothing when I did it.
I have to say, Emily, that the colder
Yeah.
the milk, the better the milk. So.
You convinced the ice cube. You convinced the ice cube was like,
You know what?
okay, all right, you're
Emily-
right.
Emily convinced me, and I convinced the ice cube.
Wow, you just hey, listen.
Thank
you
you,
just
Emily.
you just changed the
Um,
will of ice.
No problem.
It's all
You
know,
made ice change its ice mind.
I got to give Emily half the credit for that. Orange juice.
This we had a little bit more of an uptick in participation to 12 people, and I don't have their names, but that was like a third of the people
This
who
is still pretty
participated
psycho to
in
do
other
this.
things.
But warm OJ is almost as bad as warm milk. Not as bad.
But you always just get it out of the fridge
And,
and drink it pretty fast if you're me.
screwdriver.
You're right.
So that's vodka.
It's vodka and orange juice and ice.
Gotta have that ice. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the shards because I like the idea of drinking the smaller shards
pulp?
with the OJ.
Are you a pulp or a no pulp?
I'm a no pulp, but I like it being so cold that it stays cold going all the way down.
I think this is cubed because of the cocktail association.
There's one more that is the top one that both of you have. not-
Crescent?
Yeah,
Well, maybe because you always get this from your fridge and it's just right there and
that makes sense.
I like a little crushy. in my
nobody said nugget. It's funny
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
humans make decisions that is based on intuition and feel, not necessarily like we have an interpretation of why this would work this way, but I don't know if anyone could explain it. She's like, I don't know, nuggets in orange juice. That sounds bad, but nuggets and Coke, oh yeah, that's great.
Are
Nope.
you a pulp, Brett?
Yeah, because I like to eat, and it feels like
Yeah.
eating oranges.
I'm a pulp too.
Nobody likes flakes. on
Chase is a
anything.
pulp too.
Flake has not been voted for anything, right?
No, Flake hasn't won anything.
And finally, we have a Moscow Mule.
Sans the alcohol, YouTube.
No alcohol in this Moscow
Now,
Mule.
clearly, Cubed won this one, but let's explore why Cubed is the best, and let's explore why when you go to a fancy place and they give you a cocktail that's got one big ice cube.
That's cool.
Our friend Mike, Science Mike, he's quite, as you can imagine, because he's a mad scientist.
He likes to mix a
He's
drink.
a really good cocktail mixer as well.
Yeah.
And he gave me a drink the other day that had one of those big ice cubes at his house. Like, how's he making one of those big ice cubes at his house?
I think you have to buy them. I mean,
You buy the mold because you can also buy a big cylindrical mold, which is another cocktail favorite.
oh,
So yeah, anybody who's really into cocktails has that ice.
it's thick and cold, and I think it reduces melting.
It's
as
it's
much
just
as
the
possible.
surface area is lower, so it reduces meltage.
Chris and I ate at a fancy place downtown, and they had really huge, fancy ice, and we were asking them about it, and
Tell me about your ice.
they do not. Well, what we learned was by asking that they do not make it on premises. They buy big ice cubes from a special supplier.
Because
Well, I think if it's clear,
it's
Yeah.
really hard to do the clear kind.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really hard to do. It's a special process to get it to be completely clear. And super, super fancy places downtown have the full
Well, who's to say I wasn't there?
spherical ice. Total sphere.
That's nice when
Woo! That is just special if you get one of those.
it's just like, and if you swallowed it and started choking on it,
You just wait.
that'd be the best advice.
you
Yeah.
you said cube, which is correct, but there's a tie between two, and I think it's pretty obvious what the tie is.
Well, it's got to be crescent.
No,
You-
in a Moscow Mule.
Nuggets?
Yes.
Why?
So
why?
you're a fan of this?
Yeah, a lot of fancy
Why?
cocktail places will serve nugget ice.
I didn't know that.
But
Yeah.
why?
I don't know.
For any drink or specifically a Moscow
Specific
Mule?
drinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
But-
We solved problems.
You know
today.
what? Kiss your ice supplier today.
Let's see if I can get a piece of ice to land on the rim again. It'll never happen.
Unleash your legendary style with our line of mythical grooming and personal care products. Available now at mythical.com.